Hello and welcome to this light to another Raggy's Beers, Wines and Spirits, but not a review. Today we're going to be home brewing. Why is it? The chuffing light won't come on when you want it to. Today's day one of the Bulldog Easter Brew. Hey, we have light. Khaki light, but there we go. So this is a chocolate stout, 6%, and I'm not joking. It's probably the best stout that I've ever tasted, especially from homebrew. And I absolutely say it's comparable to any beer on the market, I think, personally. Now, what I have done, which is off camera, I've already put in basically 3/4 of a kilogram bag of sugar, just to add a little bit more. You can, everyone does what they do. Some use brown sugar, some use other sugar, some just stick to the bloody ingredients as they're told to. Me, I just wanted to up the alcohol content just that little bit more, because 6% is nice. 6.5% is even nicer. So, we'll start. So, when you're opening, don't go overly mad, because you may well cut. And, if I do it on camera, I'm not going to be impressed with myself. But you've got to be careful not to cut too far, because there's obviously a bag inside and you don't want to lose your malt because you'll cry. So, standard instructions from Bulldog. Please read them. Obviously, as with any homebrew thing you do, there's the barrel behind me. I've actually given that barrel from a friend, so, win-win. As with any homebrew, sterilise. Cleanliness is godliness. You cannot... And then sterilise, then give it a rinse out. Some sterilising solutions, you don't have to rinse out afterwards. You just sterilise it, pour it out, job's good. And as long as you've sterilised it within a few hours of using it, I did it about an hour or so ago, because I've had some body yakking on the phone to me. Look at that, there's your malt. Oh, all that goodness. So, I've already poured so much hot water in, and I'm going to pour another one in. And then put the kettle on again. Usually I end up putting at least 3 kettles worth of hot water in, then mix it with the cold. Now, what I will say is, I've seen other people do their reviews on the internet, but when you put the malt in, mix it round when it's with the hot water, because it breaks up a lot better. Because you do it when it's cold water, you stir it and it stays as the clumpy stuff that that it is. So, also in the box, we've got finishing hops. They'll go in at the end to give it that bit of hoppiness. And then you've got their beer yeast. Obviously you've got the box. Now the good thing is, for the initial pour, you can undo it and pour it in when it's not in the box. But what you're going to be doing, what I'm going to be doing, because you can't afford to lose any of this malt. You paid enough for it. £22.49 I paid from, wow, I can smell the chocolate already. Really strong chocolate, and that's just from the malt. £22.49 I paid, and that's from Creative Winemaking, which is in Ilkeston. There are some very good sites around the country that are near you. And with Creative Winemaking, I like them because they're pretty damn honest. 45 quid. If you spend 45 quid, then it's free delivery. So it pays to be shrewd. You don't want to pay £5 delivery. If you're going to get 2 kits anyway, you might as well get 5's worth of whatever. Right. So as you can see, pouring it in, it's going to take a while. And obviously we want as much going in as we can. You can see this on the camera. There you go. Yeah. So, just squeeze as much as you can in. And once I've squeezed as much as I can, right, and as you can see there's still some left. So now what you're going to want to do is, this is where you have to be clever, because you put hot water in this, it's going to be bloody hot, you know. So get your box, stick it back in the box, the top sticking up like so. There you go, back in the box, top sticking up. So you're going to pour your hot water in, and you're going to put the lid back on, swish it around, and you're going to want to get every last little bit of your malt through. But while the main part's in there, I'm going to give it a good stir. And what I'll do, I'll get the jug I'm going to use anyway, put that in the jug, and that can be used that in a minute when I give it another stir. By stirring it, when you initially put your paddle in, you'll notice that there's resistance, because obviously it's malt, you know, it's not been stirred up. So you're stirring it up, mixing it with the hot water. It dissolves it down a bit, and it helps when you start brewing it. So I'm pouring it into this bag now. Now, I've never had one of these bags, you know, if I tempt fate, I've never had one of these bags do anything to me, as in pop or explode. So hopefully that'll be alright. And I'm just going to give it a good swish round, because obviously we want every last bit of this malt. And there you have it, you know, you can see it's there. Pour the good bit in, swish it round, and if I get this all over the floor, I am in Bob Street. And basically, you know, you want it to be as empty, as clear as you can get it, because you don't want to lose any of that malt. So, if it's too hot, put a glove on. I'm alright as I am, he says. So, you're going to now pour this into your fermenter. And again, there's just a little bit left in there, so I'm just going to do it again, just to get the last out. You know, because like anything, the malt does the work as well as the yeast. The aroma, strong malt, strong chocolate, and that's just at this stage. Now, I have brewed this before, which is why I wanted to do it again for the channel, because like a lot of these Bulldog kits, to me these are the best kits on the market. I do wish, if they're ever watching, you do a ginger beer, but a strong ginger beer kit, you know, a reserve kit. And I'm going to do it myself anyway. I'm going to get a Simply Beer ginger beer kit because I think they're one of the better ginger beer kits, and I'm going to double ferment it. Use 8 kilos of sugar, do it 4 kilos once, ferment it, bang another 4 kilos of sugar in, yeast in again, ferment it again. And I'm either going to get a very sugary beer or something that's very tasty. So, as you can see, totally clean. And you could use that now really for wine if you wanted to. Me, it's going to be recycled. So now, I'm going to just give it another stir because I'll not be able to give it any more stirs later on because I ain't got a long paddle. Yeah, no resistance on that, so it's ready for filling. So, put the kettle on. Now, as far as I remember, it's 24 litres. Like most people, you can go a bit higher, or you can brew short. Brew short means put less in, so you get a much stronger beer. That is all down to personal preference, or you can damn well stick to the instructions and do as told. So, where does it say? Ah, 23 litres in total it says. Well, I'm going to brew to 24, put the extra sugar in, because you lose a litre anyway. I'm not losing, you know, you're going to lose a litre in sediment. So, you know, I always go slightly higher, because, you know, put a little bit of sugar, even brown sugar, or even brewing sugar. You know, you could add a kilo of that in if you really wanted to up your alcohol content. That's just a case now, keep chucking it in. You can use thermometers, but if you've been doing it a long while, you pretty much know, you know, what's the safe temperature to put your yeast in. Too high and you'll kill the yeast, so you don't want that. Too low, it'll take a bit while. Once it gets to room temperature, it's going to take a little bit longer. But I suppose better to be cooler than too hot, you know. The aroma's coming through already. Amazing. I find it usually takes 3 kettlefuls, about 1.7 litres. So it ends up being about 5 litres of hot water. And then cold water to top it up. And obviously, I've only got the cheapest equipment. You know, I ain't got the posh equipment like these grain farmers and all that other stuff. I'm very much an amateur home brewer rather than a professional, you know. So, another kettle. that's the last of the kettles, so at least now I can do it without that noise in the background. Now, some brainy person only put 22 litres on this fermenting bucket, so now I've got to put another 2 litres in, basically blind, but luckily my jug it only holds a litre, so I'm going to go up to 24 litres. But here's something I will say is, make sure you leave a good gap between what you put in the barrel and the top, because if you don't, once it starts bubbling you're going to get splatterings, and that's not good. I did it in the kitchen with a wine kit only the other week, and they had wine all the way up the blinds, and these are white blinds, and they have to use a spray bleach to get it off. So I'll just give it a stir now. Right. So, yeah, you can see. So there's 24 litres, as you can see, there's 22, that is actually 24. So the first rim is 24. See the gap? You need that gap. Yeah, I haven't turned it off, have I? No. So yeah, you need the gap, because when you put the yeast in, all the water and all that other stuff comes up, and if it's got nowhere to go, it's going to come bubbling out your top, and you don't want that. So it says here maximum 25 degrees, and check with the thermometer, and I don't know what they've done, but my thermometer's missing, but I know that that's nice. It's lukewarm, which is what you want, so it is right. If you're unsure, use a thermometer, barrel and pound shop thermometers, as long as you wash it, rinse it with a bit of hot water beforehand, put it in and see where you go from there. That's all you need to do. Easy as that. Right, time to sprinkle the yeast on the top. Some yeast. Yeah, it just says sprinkle, it doesn't even say stir it in, so it'll do it itself anyway, So there's the yeast. As usual, it just looks like bread yeast. I don't know if there is any actual difference in the yeast, but right, that's in. Looks fantastic. Let me show you straight away. Look at that. So you see the yeast there. You can see where it's been stirred as well. So that's going to do its thing now. So now, what we're going to do now is put the old lid on, with obviously the airlock filled about halfway. I need to just put a drop more in there. Yeah. Nice and tight, because obviously you don't want anything getting in. I've put a bit too much in there, so I'm just going to take it out, pour a bit out. Yeah, about halfway now. Put that back in, and for added safety, I use this, something just to put over the top. So when it's bubbling away, if any of that dark stuff starts to splat up, which it may do, it may not do, shouldn't do, but if it was to, it's not going to bubble up and splat all over my furniture in the dining room where it's going. So that's day one. The hops, they go in the later the better, so the hops can go in later. Yeah, don't really use hops in chocolate stouts, but that'd be interesting. I can't remember using this last time I had it, so they may have improved the recipe. That's interesting. And that's it now for day one. So, in a few days' time, when I do the hops, I'll then bring it back in and show you. Thanks for watching. See you soon.